I need to get something like an actual project on my needles ASAP, because if I don't have a knitting project, I don't want to know what's gonna happen. Hey guys, Sydney from Slow Formations here. Today I'm gonna be filming just a little at-home fiber arts vlog. I have a bunch of different random things I need to get done. It's a beautiful day, so I'm gonna wash some fleece. I need to wash some of my hand knit socks. I have an order I need to pack from my website. And yeah, just a couple other things. I might spin some yarn. I might knit some socks. I don't know. We'll see what I get into. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So these are just going to soak for a bit. Just doing a little pre-soak before I scour. So this is just room temp water. And as you can see, these were pretty dirty. And then so before I officially scour these, I will dump this water and refill with room temp water, and then slowly raise the heat when I do the scouring process. Here's all my socks that need washed. So I figured I'd maybe just share some of my favorites. So all of these were like knitted probably within the last like 6 months to a year. I've been obsessed with knitting socks. And these ones I just finished a little bit ago. And I really like these for like spring, summer. That's why I did the little eyelet pattern. These ones have nice little cuff. Most of these are obviously just vanilla socks, which has been fun to just kind of figure out like how I like my socks. But these ones here, honestly, both of these, they're obviously the same kind of yarn, but these, I think these ones specifically are my ones that are like my favorite ever. They're a little bit coarser. They're not a superwash merino. And I like the little bit of rusticness to my socks. But yeah, here's all my socks that need washed today. just wound up 4 skeins of this Zen Yarn Garden. It is superfine DK in the color Acorn. It says these are $30 originally a skein. I definitely did not pay that much. One of our local yarn stores went out of business, and so everything was super on sale, and obviously this color is perfect. So I bought it, and yeah, I'm planning to make a Elizabeth blouse from Petite knit out of this. I am going to be good and make a swatch for that project. Because of the variegated nature of this yarn, I did want to wind all of them up now because I will be alternating skeins as I make that project. But I think this might be, I think that pattern calls for a sport weight. And I'm not sure where this is gonna land, so I do wanna make a gauge swatch just to make sure I end up with a garment that I want. I also am kind of in crisis mode as far as casting on a new project because the only knit projects I have right now are the 24/7 socks. I have the first sock done and they say, this one says knit, sleep, and then this one says eat, repeat on it. So this one's done. I just need to weave in my ends. And this one, I literally have like maybe 10 more rounds of ribbing to go. And look, this is my first colorwork sock. So I started with my vanillas, of course, and then I did the ruffle sock, and then I did the eyelets, and this was actually my first toe up sock, and I had a really good time making it, actually. And I'm also very happy with how my colorwork turned out. I think it looks very nice. And I already tried this one on my foot, and it does fit. It does get on my foot very well. It actually fits quite well. So yeah, I don't have any more knit projects on my needle once that is done, and I could easily get that finished today if I really wanted to. So getting a swatch on this is very important. And if you watched my last video where I made the machine knit samples of that cotton fleece yarn, this is the thicker cotton sample that I made, and I actually do not like this. It is way too dense and thick. It just does not feel good. I think it was because, I think if I took the time to wind these skeins into a cone, it would maybe not be so bad, but I had a really hard time with the tension coming out of the skein when I was using it on my machine. So I think it made it a lot tighter than I anticipated it. So I did make a little hand knit swatch because this was my original intention anyway. I believe I did this on 4.5 needles. So I am going to, maybe today, if not today, by the end of this weekend, make a little, I don't know, figure out what I'm doing as far as, I want to make a vest with this. I bought some buttons, and so yeah, I'm going to make a little black button-up vest. So I need to get something like an actual project on my needles ASAP, because if I don't have a knitting project, I don't want to know what's going to happen. So I have both of the pots on the stove. These are now scouring. I use the Unicorn Power Scour. And yeah, so I fill these up with like room temp water. I have them on a medium heat, and I'll bring these up to about 125 degrees. And so once I get those up to 125 degrees, I will let them sit for like 30 minutes or so. I will say that I am not 100% sure I know what I'm doing when it comes to scouring fleeces, but I have been able to get fleeces clean without felting them. So this is just what I do, is I do the room temp soak, I dump it, I refill with room temp, and then I slowly bring the temperature up to about 125 degrees and let it sit there for 30 minutes. And then while I let it cool down a little bit, but then I rinse with also really hot water. And so I've never worked with a fleece like this yet, but my understanding is that as long as like the water is still like hot while you're moving it to some degree, so like that process of like rinsing and all that, as long as it still stays really hot, you shouldn't have to worry too much about felting. And I've been lucky so far with that. So that's what I do. And hopefully this fleece turns out good like the other ones that I have scoured. And yeah, I wouldn't say don't do what I say yet. And also, I don't know if anyone's gonna come at me for dumping that first rinse down my kitchen sink, but because the water was room temp, there shouldn't have been any lanolin to come off of the fleece yet. So I do dump the first soak in my kitchen sink just because it's easier than lugging those big pots outside and dumping them outside. When I finish this scouring process, I will take that water and I will dump it outside, because you should not dump lanolin down your plumbing because you will cause issues. At least I don't know this from experience. This is what I'm told, and I'm not trying to find out for myself if that is true. So I'm gonna pack my order that I got from my website, and it's for these tabby mittens that I made. These are knitted with yarn that I spun, so a hand spun yarn. It looks like a yak Porth silk blend, and I love these. These are beautiful. I self-drafted pattern. These were actually the first pair of tabby mittens I made, and I've kind of refined it a little bit as I've made more. I might make a pattern for these. I also make like a two-tone where like the pointer finger and the thumb are a different color than the rest of the fingers, and those are pretty cool. So I might make a YouTube like tutorial or just like a standard pattern for that, and we'll see. But yeah, so let's pack this order up. Thanks for sticking around. If you made it to the end of this video, this is all I have for you today. I think it ended up a little bit longer and chattier than I originally anticipated, but that's just who I am as a person, so I literally can't help it. But yeah, thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.